Hey everyone, what's up? This is Michelle Alexandria coming at you with another early review. The kind of folks at Netflix wanted me to come up to New York to interview the cast of the Defenders, but that fell through. Instead, you're going to have to put up with me just reviewing the TV series. They actually gave me the first 4 episodes in preparation for the interview that never happened. So I'm going to talk about those first 4 episodes. There will be some spoilers, not major spoilers, but some minor spoilers. So if you don't want to know and you want to wait until August 18th to watch the entire thing, walk away. Walk away now. I don't want to hear from you. Alright, so now that you're here, that means you don't care if I spoil major things in the first 4 episodes, but I'm here to tell you not much happens in the first 4 episodes. A lot happens, but the mystery of what brings everyone together is still being drawn out way past the first 4 episodes. It's a standard, typical Netflix show where it's all about the build-up and the journey and not necessarily the destination. So the first episode starts off pretty quickly where we see our first glimpse of all the heroes and where they are post their individual seasons. So episode 1 starts off with Danny Rand in China or someplace still on his quest to destroy the Hand. It opens with a nice 5-minute fight sequence between Danny Rand and Elektra, and he's in China to actually to meet up with the informant who has information on the Hand. But Elektra kills him, and in the guy's dying breath, he says, "Go to New York, go to New York, you will find help in New York." And in that standard Danny Rand blank face, he's like, "New York? I don't understand. Why am I going to New York?" So then we're cut to Luke Cage as he's getting out of prison, and this is where we get our first link up between the heroes, where basically Luke Cage's lawyer is Foggy Nelson. So Foggy Nelson bails him out of prison, gets him set free. Luke Cage goes immediately to go see Claire, and Claire's waiting for him, and they have some mad superhero loving. How that relationship works, I don't know. So from there, we get a cut over to Matt Murdock, and Matt Murdock is still kind of reeling from the events of his TV series. And he's given up being Daredevil. He wants to try to lead a normal life, and he's getting ready for the day, and his super hearing picks up the sound of a woman actually getting mugged and screaming for help, and he's like, he really wants to jump into help, and he's looking at, and he wants to jump in, he's like gritting his teeth, and like, I want to help, and then all of a sudden the cops come and save her, and then he just kind of smiles and then goes on about his day. After that, we get another quick shot of Jessica Jones, and she's Jessica Jones, so basically she's drunk at 8 o'clock in the morning, and a woman comes to see her, wants her to find her missing husband, and Jessica Jones says she's not in that business anymore, she doesn't want to help, and the woman walks away really mad. And so that's how the show opens. It's like the first 10 minutes of the show. At first I was like, wow, this is really fast, it's moving at a good clip, but what happens is, then at some point it kind of stalls in the middle of the first episode as all of a sudden, once we get all our introductions out of the way, then the story starts to unfold. We're introduced to Sigourney Weaver's character, who is the head of the Hand. So when you say talk to the Hand, you're actually saying talk to Sigourney Weaver. It's a really bad joke, I know, but what can you do? It's actually really funny because Sigourney Weaver is awesome in this. She's chewing scenery like no other's business. When we first meet her, we find out that she's dying, and she decides she wants to speed up the plans that the Hand have. So one of the central mysteries of this series is, what is the Hand doing? What are their end goals? But the problem is, it's 8 episodes, and in the first 4 episodes, they don't explain anything about the Hand, really. They don't explain what their goals are, what Sigourney Weaver's trying to do in New York City, and why it impacts everything. And if you don't like Danny Rand or Iron Fist, you're not going to like this series, because this entire, at least so far in the first 4 episodes, the entire thing is driven by Danny Rand's quest. So it almost feels like it's kind of told from his point of view, even though now it really isn't. It's kind of weirdly structured. So the first episode is actually focused on Danny Rand and Luke Cage. The second episode is focused on Matt Murdock and Jessica Jones. The third episode is actually focused on Elektra's backstory, and that's the most boring episode. But the end of the third episode, you get that hallway fight scene from the trailers, and man, that is so spectacular. It's well done, well orchestrated. You really feel claustrophobic as you're fighting in that hallway, and it's about a 5 or 10 minute fight sequence, and it takes up almost the entirety of the last 10 minutes of the third episode. And then in episode 4, it's kind of like denouement, or all heroes let's meet together and talk about what's happening. So it's really good in that sense, but it still felt like the first 4 episodes were a little slower than it needed to be, and I wanted more of a bit build up and more bombast, but instead we got a lot of tropey sequences, like when Luke Cage and Iron Fist first meet. I think it's in episode 2. Luke Cage is actually trying to save a neighborhood kid who lost all of his relatives, and Luke Cage vowed to try to protect this kid, and this kid is involved in something that attracts Danny Rand's attention. So of course there's a misunderstanding, and they end up fighting. And so instead of talking it out and hugging it out, their first instinct is to fight each other, and to the point where all the bad guys get away and the kid gets arrested. It turns out the kid is actually working for the Hand, because the Hand is actually recruiting inner city kids to do their dirty work for them. So that's how Luke Cage gets involved in this entire hunt. And then once Luke Cage talks to Claire about his encounter with this strange martial artist, Claire just rolls her eyes and says, "I can't believe you guys." So Claire introduces Luke Cage to Iron Fist, so there's a little information dump right there in episode 2. In episode 3, or actually midway through episode 2, then we get Jessica Jones meeting Matt Murdock, because it turns out that the guy that Jessica Jones is also investigating his disappearance. For some reason, she decides to get involved in this case anyway, even though she told his wife and family that she had no interest, but she still ends up getting involved in the search for this missing guy. She gets in trouble with the law, and it turns out the missing guy is also involved with the Hand. So that brings Jessica Jones into the case, and then Matt Murdock ends up being Jessica Jones's lawyer. And again, Matt Murdock's trying to stay out of everything because he knows what the Hand is capable of. So he goes to the building that Jessica Jones is in and warns her to stay out of this building, because Matt knows it's the headquarters for the Hand, and Jessica Jones has no clue what she's getting into. So that's how they end up in the building. Luke Cage is in the building searching for clues on what happened, and Danny Rand tries to go back to his corporation and uses his corporation and finances to cut the Hand off from a business sense. So that's how they all end up in the same place by episode 3. The problem with the entire series is I think they made Elektra too strong. She is such a badass in the first 4 episodes that all the heroes are scared of. And I'm like, you're Luke Cage, why are you scared of some karate chopping ninja? But everyone's really terrified of Elektra throughout episode 3 and most of 4, and that felt a little odd to me. One of the best scenes in the entire first 4 episodes is actually in episode 4, where they're just, and again, I'm not spoiling anything because you see it in the trailers, where they're just sitting around the table trying to eat, and Danny Rand's eating Chinese food, trying to convince them of the danger of the Hand. And again, the issue with all of these characters is that they are too similar. None of them wants to be there. None of them really wants to be a hero. And Daredevil was like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. I don't want to have anything to do with the Hand. I know what they're capable of, and you don't want to get involved. And Jessica Jones is like, of course, it's not my fight. I'm walking out. And then Luke Cage is just sitting there. I'm not really sure if he wants to fight or not. He just knows he wants to protect his community. So yeah, all of this is happening, and then by the end of episode 4, I'm fully on board, and then it ends with them preparing to suit up and fight the Hand who's coming into the store to attack them, and that's when it ends, and you're like, oh no. So I actually really enjoyed the hell out of it. I don't want to say I enjoyed the hell out of this, because I didn't. I liked it, and it has a lot of potential, but there's only 8 episodes, and it feels like the central mystery of what the Hand is doing in New York and what they're trying to unlock and what they're trying to and what's going to happen if they unlock it, and the entire reason why they need Iron Fist's powers to open up this mysterious door. It feels artificially drawn out. Like they could have added more meat to everything, to that mystery, instead of going, we have this mystery in the background, it's all going to come together at the end. But you only had 8 episodes, and you know, I wanted it to move at a slightly faster pace, but it really doesn't. It moves at that standard Netflix pace where it takes like 4 or 5 episodes for you to really click with the show and really get into it. Right now, I would kind of give this show a B. It's solid, it's good, it has all the characters you know and love. It doesn't spend a lot of time on the backstory of each character, so I don't even think you really need to see the other shows to actually be able to jump right into the Defenders. And they actually do a really good job of just explaining everything within the context of the Defenders itself. So yeah, the Defenders on Netflix, coming out August 18th.